Hi everyone. Welcome back to If My Heart Had Wings, Kotori's Route, episode 11. So, we suffered a small but become large setback when Kotori landed and Hibari saw Kotori in the cockpit. So, on the positive side, Kotori's able to handle stall recovery very well under the training of Aoi, but then when she landed, Hibari saw Kotori and it triggered all those past memories of Kotori getting into an accident, hence losing her ability to walk. And Hibari was so upset that she gave Kotori a slap. It's like, don't you remember about what happened? And it's like, well, even though it's not a hot air balloon incident, the glider is similar, or maybe worse. And right now, they're trying their best not to let Kotori's father know about the incident, because I'm sure he's going to quickly order Kotori out of Keifuu Academy and back home. So, if you remember in the beginning, Kotori got to Keifuu Academy because she wanted to get away from her parents who were continuously sad and depressed that they injured Kotori. And initially Kotori didn't want to be in this school, but later she found a good reason why, and it's because of the glider and the morning glory. And right now the father is happy about it. It's like, well, I'm very happy that Kotori is much happier and she was able to come home, and we've never seen Kotori like this since the incident. So right now, the father is thanking Aoi for all the good things that he's done to Kotori, and hopefully that stays put until the morning glory. So anyways, let's see what happens next. So right now, Kotori made something special for Aoi, and everyone else is away, including Kaneko. So I threw my overstuffed body onto my bed. So that was good. I'm stuffed.
喜んでもらえてよかった。
So having her cook praised really seemed to make Kotori happy. Well, that's true for everyone. So hold on a minute. Okay, so I'll be fine in a bit. I laid on bed until my stomach settled a little. So I'm stuffed. I need some time to let it digest and So while I was resting, Kotori began staring at the bicycle decorating the corner of my room.
ちゃんと手入れしてあるのね。
Yeah, so it's sort of a habit. I can't stop. Or I can't sleep if I don't do it, even though I don't ride anymore.
乗らないの？
So I couldn't even if I wanted to. Kotori looked at my right knee.
全然平気そうに見えるけど、そんなことないんだ。
Well, I could probably ride round a little bit, but there's no way I could race. It's like, well, I can ride normally like a general cruise, but I can't push hard and go racing. So in a sense, I can still ride the bicycle. So it's no fun if I'm not riding at full speed though. Plus, I probably want to go faster, push too hard and then hurt my knee again.
葵くんがこの自転車で走ってるとこ見てみたかったな。きっと超かっこよかったと思うの。
Well, I can show you. So I pulled myself up and fumbled through my desk drawer. So I think it has a video or some picture showing him during cycling. So after a bit of searching, I pulled out an album. Oh, so my friends in the cycling racing club made this for me when I transferred schools. And it was filled with pictures of the club and match records.
へえ、素敵なお友達がたくさんいたのね。
Well, when I got it, it kind of felt like a strange way of telling them, saying that they hated me. I laughed, and Kotori gave me a funny look. So, because when I left, it was kind of like I was running away from bicycles, and then they gave me this. Well, when I got it, I just shoved it to the bottom of my drawer, and I even forgot I had it.
今は見られるようになったってこと？
Well, I guess. So all thanks to the glider and making new friends, I suppose. So now I appreciate their thoughtfulness. I really don't have any bad memories from back then. Well, to me, it seems like this is like we're very sorry that you have to leave the school, but we want you to have something as a memento to let you remember all the good times that we had while we were together at this sports school.
葵くんだ。若い。
So basically, when you leave, don't forget about the times of you being here. So I looked a bit like a punk. And it was a picture of me from first grade. I really looked like a child.
かわいい。いいな、この葵くん。なでなでしたい。
Well, guys don't like it when you say they're cute, So saying that in a sullen tone had Kotori laugh in a way that implied even that was cute.
自転車のユニフォーム姿の葵くんもかっこいいな。
So how's that?
ねえ、これってすごくスピード出るんでしょ？どのくらい速いの？
Well, if I pedal as fast as I can, I could probably go a bit faster than a car at normal speed. So I wonder how fast that is.
車より速いの？
So can you beat a car? Well, there's no way I could keep that speed up the whole time, of course. But at a sprint, right before the goal, when I use my legs, full blast, yeah, so I can go really fast.
足を使い切る？
So basically using all my energy I stored up.
へえ。うわ、これすごいね。坂を登ってる。
Oh, so we call it a hill climb because it's really, really tough.
みたいね。すんごい顔してる。
Well, let me tell you. So after you struggle up the hill, there's quite a prize awaiting you. So after working all that strength to go to the top of the hill, when you go down, it's a breeze and going downhill.
ダウンヒル？
Yeah, so going downhill gets you going really fast, and it feels amazing.
サーマルに乗って空の上まで上がった後、遠くまで滑空していくような感じかな。
Well, it's similar, but it's still different. So the sense of speed is much higher on a bicycle. That's true. So moving across the ground really makes the sensation no joke. Well, I think it's because when you ride a bicycle, you're not being protected by any kind of envelope as in a glider. So the canopy, the body, whereas in a bicycle, you're basically covering the equipment. So it feels great to be hundreds or meters above ground in a glider, but this is different.
自転車か。
So you were in volleyball, right?
最初スパイカーだったんだけど、セッターやれる子がいなくて途中で転校したの。 私割と器用だったからどこでもこなせたし。
Cool. So do you have any album or something? Anything? Kotori flashed an awkward smile. So any photos of you in volleyball or the volleyball club?
全部捨てちゃった。
Aww. I'm sorry I brought it up.
ううん、今このアルバム見ててちょっと後悔してる。嫌な思い出ってわけじゃないんだから取っとけばよかったって。
I think it makes Kotori upset. Like, well, I wish I was this. But now that I have a wheelchair, I can't really be this anymore. And this is just going to make me feel really sad. Well, I would have loved to see pictures of you from back then. I bet you were really cute.
まあね。
Maybe? So she nodded quickly. Well, not really modest, huh?
ご近所で評判だったらしいから美人姉妹って。どっちかっていうとお姉ちゃんの方がすごいモテモテだったけど、隣町からラブレターが届くなんてこともしょっちゅうだったし。
I can't see that happening. Kotori looked offended after hearing me murmur that. So he's saying that Hibari is better than me? But you must have been popular too, right? So my heart was pounding as I asked.
まあね。
So Kotori had an annoyed look on her face as she answered.
でもあの頃は男の子のこととか全然興味なくてお付き合いとかしたことなかったの。だから初めて好きになった男の子は葵くんよ。
So even though she was smiling, she still seemed to be a bit embarrassed to say it. So I was extremely happy, but then... So by the way, about the way we talk to each other. So if we're going to be together, shouldn't you try to be more relaxed when you are with me?
そうかも。
So, say that you like me again.
でもいきなりは難しいよ。
So why? Why not? So it's no good if you're not relaxed. So try.
葵くん。
Okay, so Aoi-kun.
だってなんか発音のバランスに問題があっていきなり導入するのは難しいのよ。
Well, don't worry about it.
あ、すねた。ごめん、ちゃんと呼べるようになるから。
So I'll try then. You have to, okay?
約束する。
So Kotori began flipping randomly through the album. And aside from pictures, my race results were also in there. So I wonder how Aoi did on the placement back then. So although she probably didn't understand them, she stared at them with great intensity. Hey! So what's wrong? So when you had your accident, you fell from a balloon, right? A higher balloon? So Kotori raised her head. So, flying a glider isn't scary?
全然。
So she spoke confidently. So when Hibari talked about it, she turned really pale and it seemed like it had been a terrible accident. However, Kotori didn't seem to be scared at all, even doing spin recovery training.
私小さい頃から空に憧れてて、それで旅行先で熱気球に乗れるって知ってわがまま言って乗せてもらったの。そしたら事故に遭っちゃったんだけど、でもあんな風に空を飛んだのは初めてだったからすごく楽しかった。あの時気球から見た景色は今でも忘れてない。
So that kind of good memory. Well, I could tell her response was completely honest. So my accident happened while I was going downhill. Okay, so I was trying to relate that accident to his own accident. So the cyclist in front of me fell and I went down as well.
そうなんだ。
Of course, I still remember how good it feels to be going downhill. I can even remember going to the winner's podium.
それ、アゲハが見られなくて悔しがってたやつね。私も見たかったな。
Well, back then, I only really wanted to ride. I didn't really care about winning or results. So going up the winner's podium, being congratulated by my coach and teammates, Anchan, was really happy. Well, I really got a taste for it then. I got too enthusiastic about it when I was going downhill, and then I got into an accident. So nothing good ever happens to people who don't have desires. That's true. So Kotori looked as if she half understands.
もしまた自転車に乗られるなら乗りたい？
So, do you still wish to ride? Yeah, well, if I could, I would love to. But right now, I have the glider, and don't you think it's a bit more than just a hobby? And she seemed a little relieved to hear me say that. So the doctor told me while I was in rehab, if I had surgery, I could probably compete again.
そうなの？
But it's a huge operation and it would cost a lot of time and money, and it's not guaranteed I would heal up. Well, I couldn't make up my mind, so I just didn't do it. Well, I think it's too risky for anyone. It's like, well, going to surgery, that's going to be a lot of risks involved in. I think it's better to have me just walk normally, and so he can still walk, it's just that he can't do extreme competitive sports that involve heavy use of his knees and legs. Well, I was told I had a 50-50 chance of recovery. And now I understand why I couldn't make up my mind back then. I was scared. And if it wasn't a success, I'll never have another chance to be healed again. And I wanted to think I still had the chance to be healed. And perhaps that's ridiculous. Without that chance, I would probably go crazy.
今からでも受けられないの？
So do you want to do surgery or can you have it? I'm not sure. I'll have to ask a doctor.
受けられればいいのに。
So I wonder if Kotori would like to see Aoi cycling again. Why?
だってほら夏が終わったらソアリング部が。
Okay, so it's also good to have something else to do because the soaring club might come to an end. Oh yeah, so it's going to disband.
なんか納得いかないけど。
Well, in that case, yeah, I guess I could have the surgery. Well, of course, our school doesn't have a cycle racing club. So this school is not really oriented towards sports. And rather than do that, making a club that wouldn't worry Kotori's parents seemed more interesting.
そうしましょう。それでまた自転車の後ろに乗せてちょうだい。
So Kotori was talking about it as if it already had been decided. Of course, if all I was going to do was that, I don't need the surgery then.
このアルバム借りてていい？
Sure, so what are you going to do?
見るの網膜に焼き付くくらい。
So there was something scary about that. So I wonder why Kotori wants to go deep down in my photo album. However, as she stared at each page of the album, I could tell she was not exaggerating. So I went to the kitchen to clean up. Kotori was at the table intensely looking through the album. So are you bored?
全然。
No? She didn't even lift her head to answer. She looked like an archaeologist trying to decipher an ancient text.
このゴツゴツした感じの男の子が葵くんの一番のお友達だったのかしら。さっきからやたら登場して葵くんにベタベタしてる。
Ah, so is that Takenaka?
竹中？ゴツゴツは竹中。
So she repeated herself as if to memorize it.
みんな仲良さそう。
I guess. I still keep in touch with them now. So I even got a message asking to meet up this summer since it's been so long. I told them I was too busy though.
竹中とは今でも仲良しと。
Oh yeah, so is it alright if I take pictures later?
いいけど、どうして？
So why? Well, I want to send it to him. He won't shut up about how showing him a picture. So they're going, come on. I want to know what's going on since you left and I just want to see some memory of that. So after first being proud of me, he became intently jealous and began begging to see a picture.
それはいい考えね。葵くんにはもうちゃんとした彼女がいることをしっかりアピールしとかないと。
So she murmured while looking at the picture of me and Takenaka with our arms over each other's shoulders. And I wonder what she could be imagining. Alright, so the dishes are done. It's so much easier when it's just the two of us. And if it were always like this, my job would be so much easier. So without Kanako, Sanae, the other boarders, the twins, Asa and Yoru. Well then, so I think I'm going to wash up. How about you? Are you going to take a bath?
入らない。
So don't you need to wash?
そうじゃないの。葵くんともっと話がしたいなって。お風呂はそれからって意味よ。
Okay, that's fine.
じゃあ外に出て話さない？
I guess that's okay. So I gave a slight smile with my answer. Kotori seemed pleased and headed to the entranceway. And I wonder why she spoke so formally.
空が綺麗。
So they're outside and looking at the stars. So looking completely at peace, Kotori gazed up at the sky with the infinite number of stars shining down on her as if they were smiling. So Kotori smiled herself as all those shining smiles sparkled in her eyes.
ねえ葵くん、夜に飛んだらあの星が手に届くのかしら。
Well, it seems like it. Yeah, well, of course, it's dangerous to fly at night.
せっかくロマンチックに行ってみたのに、なんか現実的な返事でつまんないわ。
Well, I'm sorry. So I always being a little bit too realistic and it's like, well, I really want this to be a special night and just ruining it with all these practicalities. So Kotori pouted, I laughed, trying to cover my embarrassment, and apologized. So even though we obviously can't reach out and touch the stars, that doesn't stop me from putting my hand out. So that's what I think about when it comes to the way we fly.
そうね。
So I thought perhaps the word only carried that sort of meaning to me. And the way she happily carried on the conversation made her look even more beautiful. Which is why I decided to say it. So, can I touch her legs? Hey, you can't do that. Oh, no. I'm being serious here. So my reason was simple. If I could understand her pain, her suffering, just that might help her a little bit. Well, I'm sure Kotori kind of feels that Aoi already knows her pain pretty well, given that he has something to fall back on. It's like, well, I also got an injury with my bicycle, and that stopped me from being able to compete. And it also explains why I had to transfer schools. So Kotori seemed to have multiple of conflicting emotions battling for supremacy within her. I was simply glad she didn't immediately say no.
嫌じゃない？
There's nothing for me to hate. My answer was firm. Well, I love everything about you, Kotori, even your legs.
本当に？
Really? Yeah, really. So she clearly was experiencing a lot of emotions. And I could see joy and confusion mingled together with sadness. But for me, seeing all those emotions only cemented how much I wanted to be with her. So, is all right? So Kotori nodded, seemingly pushing aside her conflicted feelings. And doing my best not to shatter her courage, I gently placed my hand upon her lily white legs. And I could feel her soft warmth in the palm of my hand.
気持ち悪くない？
No, not at all. Well, I don't think it feels bad. Do you?
本心だと多分嫌。でも嫌じゃないって気持ちもあって、なんか自分でもわからないの。ただ葵くんだからって考えたら、結局嫌じゃないって気持ちが勝ったみたい。
So the battle was still raging inside her. I didn't really mind though, since she felt it was fine because it was me. And if that's the case, I'm happy because just like I said before, your legs are part of your body, and I love every bit of you, Kotori.
じゃあ、もし足がこんなじゃなかったら好きじゃなかった？
So if I was able to walk and I'm okay, will you still like me then? Well, of course. I couldn't help but fall in love with a cute girl like you. And I'm not just sure what you would think of me.
そんなの好きになってたに決まってるわ。ただ、葵くんの素敵さに気づくのが今よりちょっと遅れてた可能性はあるかもしれない。
So Kotori thought for a moment with a serious look on her face.
私って美少女だし、勉強もスポーツもできるから、もし足がこんな風になってなかったら謙虚な気持ちで生きられなかったと思うの。葵くんは知らないでしょうけど、私って結構図に乗りやすい性格なのよ。
So there she goes saying strange things again. Well, I know how cocky you can be. So anyone who knows her would probably know that. So you probably would have some come to Keifuu to begin with. Or would not have come. So we wouldn't have been able to meet. Kotori nodded.
事故に遭っていろんなものを失ったけど、そう考えると手に入れたものもたくさんあるのね。
So saying this with complete earnestness, Kotori firmly grasped my hand.
この間のフライトの時、私に言ったことを覚えてる？
So what was that?
空を飛んでる時の私が本当の私に思えるってやつ。
Yeah, so it's like, well, This is the real Kotori. And when she's flying, she's all happy and she really wants to push forward.
あれからね、私そのことを考えてたの。それはどうして私が飛びたいのかってのと同じ疑問で、答えはまだよくわからないんだけど、でも空を飛んでる時だけは私は自由なの。この足が動かないなんて関係ない。自由になれるの。
So free. As the word comes from Kotori's lips, I could feel how important it was to her. And she seemed as lively as if her legs were fine. She was overflowing with energy. And sometimes I felt like her wheelchair was binding that energy and suppressing her. And at the moment, Kotori seemed more frustrated than ever. She wanted to move more freely. Only when she was in the sky could she escape from these binds.
自由っていうのは私がなくしちゃったものの一つだけど、他にもたくさんそういうものがあるのね。
So like what?
普通の人にとっては当たり前のことよ。友達と遊ぶことや彼氏と恋愛することや、それこそ葵くんと出会った頃なんてどん底だったから、毎日つまんなくて嫌なことばっかで。この私が学校が嫌いだって言ってたのよ。信じられる？
Well, I wouldn't believe it if you said it now. So back then it was probably believable, but then again I didn't know Kotori that well. So Kotori nodded in agreement. She placed her own hand on top of the other one that I had, still resting on her leg. So you can't feel anything at all?
この辺りから。
So saying that, she brought my hand to the base of her thigh.
さっき葵くん手術の話してたけど、実は私もね、同じようなことを言われたの。
Really?
お医者さんからもしかすると治る可能性があるかもって、すごく難しい手術で日本じゃできないって言われた。お父さんが探し回ってくれたけど結局見つからなくて。
So would you be able to walk again if you had a surgery?
どうなんだろう。もし手術が成功したとしても完全には回復しないって言ってた。その上成功率は万に一つなんだって。なんかもう絶望的な数字よね。期待させちゃった。ごめんね。それでもいいの。治るかもしれない希望があるだけで全然違うもの。まだ私は終わってないって思えるから。でも本当はもうダメなんだって分かってて、どん底気分で絶望して全部諦めかけてた。
So after saying that, she laughed and rubbed my arm.
そこへ葵くんが現れたってわけ。
Wait, Kotori? So I held Kotori close to me as a sudden, almost unexpected sensation of love swept through me. Well, I'm glad I met you, and I love you, Kotori.
私も大好きよ、葵。
Kotori, so relax.
なんかダメ。やっぱり無理だわ。
So asking her to relax may be a simple thing. But since my girlfriend, I can't take it lightly. Okay, oh well then.
ちょっと葵くん。
Wait, so Aoi-kun? So what's going on? So since she was laying down, it was easy for me to slide my hands under her. and I cradled her in my arms and picked her up. Okay, so I kind of like this picture where he picks Kotori up and Kotori's clinging onto Aoi. Well, I meant to say it earlier, but you're not heavy at all, and this is no problem, so I won't put you down. And although Kotori seemed jittery for a moment, eventually my princess relaxed in my arms. And she blushed slightly. So what's wrong? It appears so. So she's happy, so am I. Well, did I not say you are not heavy at all? Besides, I have trained my upper body thoroughly. So obviously, you can use your feet to pedal when biking, but if you can't use your whole body to keep rhythm and balance, there's no way you can go that fast. And you need to hold the handlebars properly, and if you can't hold the proper position, then there is no way you'll be able to pedal at full strength. So Kotori nodded while letting out a breath of amazement. So by the way, my dear princess, and for the time being, I'll put aside the bicycle knowledge and return to my vassal mode. So I don't only want to carry her like a princess. So how are you feeling at the moment? Oh, I'm pleased. So just ask me anytime you would like me to do so. So, every day? Yeah, I like it. So she likes this more than I thought a girl would, or like she would. So before you try that, why not try being in my arms? So receiving your praise is an honor. And if someone heard me talk this cheesily, they'd probably come whack me across the head. Well, I don't think I noticed, though. Well, I'm happy. And Kotori is even happier. Well, I was planning on playing the part of a vassal. No, you're even better. Well then, so if that's the case, then there's no difference in our rank. I'm sure that's what Kotori wants. Well then, so if there's no distance between us, then we are equal. So that means you need not be nervous around me at all. So you're still nervous. So I think my wanting her to not be nervous is only making her more so. That's true. Well, I guess there's only more and more things I can do. So, how about a kiss? Well then, princess, your wish is my command. And I shall happily oblige you to any of your orders, my dear princess. And staring at me with wide open eyes, Kotori seemed to be thinking intensely. And for a moment, the cries of the nocturnal insects became neatly deafening. And I heard a light whisper of a breath, and then...
キスして、葵。
So her whisper seems to evoke and even deepen the allure. Of course, my princess. And our lips gently touch, and I could feel the peacefulness of the moment in my lips, my arms, all throughout my body. And I firmly took her love and returned it with my own. And soon, it felt as if there was no distance between us.
月、大好き、葵。
I love you too, my princess.
お姫様。
So she sure seemed to like this. And the stars can surely see how merry you are, princess.
心ゆくまで見るがいいわ。この私たちの幸せな様を。
Well then, so I hope the weather is fine tomorrow.
そうね。
So the twinkling stars of the night sky watched over our special time. Kotori's smile, however, shone brighter than any of those stars. So I think we should be getting back soon.
もう少しこのまま。
As you wish. And sorry, the princess's wish is the law.
なんか、ガランとしてるね。
Okay, so we see that the twins are in the secret base.
そうね。ただでさえ無駄に広いのに。人も。先輩たちが引退しちゃったら、ずっとこのままなのかな。
Hold on, I went too fast, so let's see.
そうね。ただでさえ無駄に広いのに。人も。グライダーもないとなるとね。でしょうね。けど、元に戻るだけよ。あの人たちが来る以前に。
So it was quiet to begin with, and it's gonna be quiet again.
なんでだろう。先輩たちがいて、グライダーがあるのが当然みたいに思えちゃうんだよね。ここがもともと飛行機用のドックだったからじゃない？そうなのかな。なんだか寂しいわ、夜ちゃん。せっかく楽しいことが始まってたのに。ほんと勝手な人たちよね。私たちの気持ちももう少し考えてほしいものだわ。私たち？言い間違えただけ。姉さんの気持ち。いや、すごい言い間違いだね。一文字も合ってないよ。
But then again, Asa was what kind of connected them to this place. So, you always should consider Asa's feelings as well.
明日、あのすごい子も来るかな。さあ、確率的にはこの3日くらいが一番ありそうだったけど。緊張してきた。
Okay. So,
だからっておやつ食べすぎ。私の分残しておいてね。食べてないと落ち着かないんだもん。まったく。そういう夜ちゃんはなんで掃除してるの？別にみんな物を出しっぱなしにしてるから。何かしらこれ。ロープ？
So what is it?
いたいた。おーい、朝ちゃん、夜ちゃん。
Okay, so Ageha comes in.
アゲハ先輩、どうしたんですかこんな時間に。いや 家に一人でいると落ち着かなくって。ほら、明日あたり来そうでしょ。それでトビウオ荘に行こうかと思ったんだけど、せっかく二人きりなのを邪魔しても悪いと思って。
Okay, so Agha knows, like, well, I think it's probably their personal time between Kotori and Aoi.
ちょうど姉さんが寂しがってたところです。
So I'm glad that we have company now.
先輩、大歓迎です。ありがとう。はい、これ差し入れのイチゴ。はあ、イチゴだよ、ヨルちゃん。チュル。ヨルちゃん、それ何？そこの物置で見つけたんです。ロープみたいに見えるんですけど。ほら、ゴム？ゴムの紐なんだ。
So a rubber cord.
何に使うものなのかと思って。なんだろう。何かをぶら下げてたのかな。ここにあるものだから飛行機に関係するものだと思うんですけど。それよりイチゴ食べましょうよ。
Well, forget about all the technicalities. Let's just eat strawberries.
そうだね。食べよう食べよう。おいしい。このイチゴ甘いです。もらい物なんだけど、うちじゃ食べきれないから持ってきたんだ。今日はここで寝るんですか？うん、寝袋も持ってきたよ。もしかしたら今夜で終わりかもしれないもんね。アゲハ先輩、本当にやめちゃうんですか？小鳥がやめるならね。
Well, if Kotori quits, then I'll quit.
小鳥先輩がいなくても続けられるじゃないですか。続けられるけど続ける意味がないっていうか。
So, like what happened in the last episode, like, well, if Kotori quits, then there's not really a purpose of us being together. So, we might as well just break up.
アゲハ先輩はグライダーが好きじゃないんですか？好きだよ。小鳥や葵や朝ちゃんたちとやるならやっぱりグライダーがいいな。
So I think Agha just likes to build stuff in general. So she's not really that into gliders. It's like if it involves building, then I'm okay with it. So building gliders or robots.
葵たちが飛んでるの見るの好きだから。アゲハ先輩って変わってますね。そう？なんで？普通は自分で飛びたがるものじゃないでしょうか。そうかもね。何度か葵に乗せてもらったけど気持ちいいよね。
Okay?
はい、気持ちいいです。でもまあそれが私の目的じゃないし、うまく言えないけど一番大事なのはそこじゃないの。小鳥先輩がいなくなったらその大事なものもなくなってしまうってことですか？
Well, Kotori's pretty much the person who brings everyone together. And it's her wish to bring the glider up into the skies and go through the morning glory. And if you remember from way earlier in episode like 22 of the Common Route, Kotori was the one who brought in really good, compelling evidence about why the Soaring Club should exist. And it's because of that photo, and also the notebook that Kotori found.
そういうこと。先輩たちはそんな風に思える大切な仲間なんだってことですよね。仲間か。去年の夏にガレージを取り壊されてからほんと大変だったからね。
Yeah, that's the big problem.
あの時は悔しかったしほんと泣きそうだったけど、でも今思うとあれはあれで良かったのかなって思う。
But then again, when they lost the garage, there was something better up the street, and it's this space owned by the twins. So it's not all negative.
ただのクラブ活動以上のことができてるのは 学校から外へ飛び出してったおかげだもん。
And more importantly, this space is away from the campus, so they can do many more things and not be caught.
羨ましいです、先輩たちが。何言ってんの。朝ちゃんももうとっくに仲間じゃん。部外者とか言いながらいつも手伝ってくれてる夜ちゃんもね。
So, you know, Yoru, even though you're not a club member, you've been helping us as well.
ねえ、夜ちゃん、さっきのロープ見せて。何に使うものか調べてみよう。そうですね。今日はみんなで並んで寝ましょうね。川の字になって。なんかキャンプに来たみたいだね。ねえ、葵。
So yeah, what's going on?
王子様じゃなく、葵として話したい。
Okay, so enough with that prince and prince thing. Or princess thing. So I switched tones as soon as she asked. So Kotori was still looking up at the sky.
いよいよなのね。
So it took a moment for me to understand what she had murmured. Yeah, so it'll happen soon. I responded firmly. So if Amane's predictions are right, it has a high chance of it coming within the next 3 days. And this is what we had been waiting all year long.
私、飛びたい。モーニンググローリーは雲の回廊を渡りたい。
So Kotori almost seemed to be wishing as she said about it.
そうしたら取り戻せる気がするの。未来が。
So the future? Kotori gave me a deep nod.
そう。未来。私がなくした一番大きなもの。もしモーニンググローリーを飛べれば取り戻せる気がするの。
So it wasn't as if she thought God was beyond these clouds and would give it back to her. So Kotori Habane had lost her dignity. And if she flew, I knew she would be able to believe in the future what lays ahead of her. So I said, well, you'll get it back eventually. Or you'll get it back. So Kotori clung onto me tightly.
一人じゃ不安だけど、葵といると勇気が湧いてくる。そばにいてくれてありがとう。
I gave her a strong hug. So you'll definitely fly. And we both looked at the same place straight up in the sky at the highest point we could see. Okay, so it's the next morning, and this is a good place to stop for this episode. So this episode has been pretty much mostly romance, with Aoi and Kotori sharing their past experiences. And like I said before, Aoi also has an injury and could relate to Kotori's injury. And it's like, well, we can get better if we go through surgery, but the risk is high, and the chances of it being successful is quite low. But anyways, my favorite part about this is that despite Kotori's injuries, she doesn't let it bother her. It's like, well, even though the hot air balloon got me injured, I still like the feeling of being able to be up in the sky. And if I can't be in a hot air balloon, I can be in a glider. And that'll help me achieve the same purpose. And I don't really care if I don't really let the injury bother me. But then again, I wonder how safe it is to be in a hot air balloon. Because unlike a glider where you have a whole full body armor protecting you to some extent, in the hot air balloon it's open. But then again, a glider doesn't, or a hot air balloon doesn't fly as fast as a glider. But anyways, it looks like the morning glory is coming soon, and hopefully Kotori is able to make it despite all those potential problems that are going to arise. So the fact that she's still hiding this from her parents, and we haven't really seen how the parents would respond if they find out that Kotori is flying in a glider. And Hibari's also helping Kotori hide it from the parents. But anyways, with all that in mind, I'll see you in the next episode.